Guys, today we're going to start in with our blinking light project, okay, getting that rolling, soldering up. So here's what I need you to do. Make sure, number one, your soldering irons are plugged in. They're getting hot. Make sure you get the sponge wet. Make sure you have safety glasses. Make sure that you have solder for your board as well. Now, up on my other desk over here, there is a baggie of parts, okay? It comes sealed. You need one baggie of parts. And then you need a Ziploc baggie, and on that baggie, again, write your name and hour on that baggie because we will be storing them in our locker again back there in the back of the room. So go ahead, grab a baggie, grab a Ziploc baggie, just one baggie of parts, please. Don't have enough to go around for everybody. Oh, Mr. Forsman stole my Sharpies. Can you go grab them for him real quick, Tucker?
No, where are the glasses?
So are they like gonna blink simultaneously with the red one?
No, they alternate.
Oh, they alternate? Okay.
Oh, just take it out.
So it'd be like,
Yeah.
sort of like how an airplane?
I don't know.
How the green and red one?
Never really looked at an airplane, Cameron. Sorry. If you need a pair of scissors to open it up, you can get a pair of scissors over there. Just make sure you throw your trash in the trash. Do not lose your parts. I do not have replacement parts for these. Okay, as you can see, they come in a little kit. All right, so you cannot lose these parts, so be very careful when you get your stuff out. And just kind of have a little pile here of your parts, and we're going to go through them. And when we go through them, you can put them in your baggie. So that way you know that you have everything to start here. Everybody good? Everybody got them open? Huh? Yeah, you can throw that plastic baggie away. No, hang on to the instructions. There's your Sharpies, guys. Get a Sharpie, write your name and hour on your baggie.
This is hour 2.
Hour 2. We're going to talk about everything. Don't mess with it, though. Guys, you do have a switch in there, and I know like some of you guys just feel the need to mess with things. Don't, because right now it's in the off position, and you can see they're not labeled. All right, so you want to make sure you leave that switch alone, even though it is so tempting to set and toggle it back and forth. Okay, please don't, because then you will have no idea which way is off and which way is on when you go to mess with this. So here's what I want to talk about, guys. Okay, get the sheet of directions out in front of you really quick. Okay, and when you unfold it, guys, so you see you have a diagram here of the board. When you unfold it and look at the bottom half, you have a chart here of your objects and what they use for the labeling. What do you look for? Everything's over there. All right, get a pen or a pencil out in front of you. Pen or a pencil. I don't care which one. Just make sure you have something to write with. All right, we ready to roll? Okay, now also with this chart, guys, have your little green circuit board out in front of you so that way you can see this. All right, so you should have your chart opened up looking just like mine right here. Okay, I want you on this table right here. Okay, and then your green board in front of you, make sure you have it going the correct way, like you should be able to read it. Copyright 2016 should be at the top of the board. That's your top. Okay, now, over here on the left-hand side where it says part reference, this is the labeling that they are using here. All right, so if I look at part reference, it says Q1 and Q2. Then I go to my board here, guys. All right here in the center, I have a Q1 and a Q2 right there. You can see Q1 and Q2, it says right here under part value, that's our transistor. Okay, that is our half moon shape. What?
It says from where it's not copyright 2016.
I don't know. It does just make sure it's upright. All right. So if you look at our transistor here, guys, remember, that's the little black piece with 3 legs. It also has that half moon shape. When I go to put that transistor in, if you look on your green board, they show you how that cap should face. So which way is the flat side of our half moon facing? It's going up. We have to match the diagrams on here when we put these in. Now, we're not putting that one in first, but just kind of showing you. So you should have 2 resistors. All right, grab both of those resistors, put them in your Ziploc baggie because we won't be using them yet. All right, now up next from our chart, you have LED 1, which is the red LED. Then you have LED 2, which is the green LED. If you look at your board, the one on the left is LED 1 right here at the top. And then the one on the right is LED 2. It's all labeled. Now, also, if you look, remember, our little LEDs, guys, if I look at them correctly, they have a flat side to that round cap, actually. That's where the short leg is. So if you find the short leg, you actually have a flat side on that inner cap right there. They're telling you that they need the long leg on top by doing that when we put those LEDs in. All right, so your red will go on the left, your green will go on the right. You guys understand that? All right, make sure you have a red and a green LED and put both those in your baggie because we're not starting with those either. All right, up next, you have R1 and R2. That is our 470 ohm resistor. All right, so your R1 and R2, that is your yellow, violet, brown. So here's what I want you to do. Right here next to R1 and R2 on your chart, I want you to write yellow, violet, brown. Because R1 and R2 is your yellow, violet, brown. Then you should have 2 of them right there. Leave those out. We're going to start with those. Should have 2 yellow, violet, brown resistors. You good with that? All right. Now, R3 and R4, that is our red, red, yellow resistors. So right here on R3 and R4, we're going to write red, red, yellow. And then you should have 2 of those. Leave those out. We will get to those as well today. Just don't get them mixed up. You have red, red, yellow, and then yellow, violet, brown. Leave them out for right now. All right. Now, moving on, you have C1 and C2. Those are our capacitors, guys. That's this right here. These are your capacitors. Okay, if you notice, they have a long leg and a short leg. What's that mean? Positive and a negative. All right, and then if you look at your green board here, all right, it has C1, C2 right here in the center, and they have a little positive up top. So that means our long leg needs to go on top as well when we start putting these in. You guys got that? All right, you should have 2 of those capacitors. Put them in your Ziploc baggie. We will get to those later. You should have 1 switch. That is your SW1. Right now, the switch is in the off position. All right, so that switch, that little toggle switch right there, will go on the left when we put it into the SW1 area. Okay, please do not toggle that switch, as much as you want to. Fight the urge, you little ADD kids. All right, so right now it's in the opposition. Take that, put that in your baggie. And then finally, last but not least, you have your 9-volt battery clip. We will do this at the very end. Okay, just kind of learning by how many of you people broke your 9-volt battery clip leads. We will do this at the very end, so we have less chance of breaking them and having to restrip them and resolder them. Got it? Put that in your baggie. Okay, now, like I said before, guys, it's very important that you don't damage or lose these parts. I do not have replacement parts for this. Again, they come in a kit, so you have to be careful with this. Everybody understand that? All right, so if you want, you can kind of slide your directions, leave them out, but just kind of slide them out of the way. And we're going to kind of concentrate on this board right here, this green board that we have. Okay, now, as you can see, guys, we talked about this yesterday. Everything is labeled on the board where it needs to go. All right, if I flip it over to the back side, turn it over to the back side where you're going to be soldering. All right, what do you notice about these copper rings? All right, what shapes do we have? All right, you have a square and you have a circle. The reason you have squares and circles, your squares are for positive legs. Your circles are for the negative legs. Okay, so that's kind of something to help you out right there. That I know if I have a long leg going through a circle, I've done it wrong. Okay, our long legs should be going through the squares on there. Now, also, each one of those copper rings, guys, you can see has a wire connecting to another copper ring. Those are your connections. They are already done in the board, which is why it's important that I can't run this board. Okay, I can't just slide it over to a new spot and plug it in and it'll work. It will not work. It has to be in that spot. So when you're soldering, you can't leave that soldering iron on there for a very long time. Otherwise, you'll pop that copper ring off there. All right, and then you'll lose your connection. You have to work quicker. It's still a slow 3 count, 1001, 1002, 1003, but I don't want to leave it on there for an excessive amount of time. You guys understand that? All right, so turn it back over to the front side. Now, what you are working to, guys, is this right here. Okay, here is our finished product. All right, with everything working, all the resistors in the right spot. Okay, and my switch on, obviously 9-volt battery clip going on right there. Okay, so we are going to start with our resistors. We are going to start with R3 and R4. That's the inside resistors. So that's right here, R4, and then R3. So that is our red, yellow resistor. So get your red, yellow resistor in front of you. And if you want to go ahead, take it and kind of fold it into a horseshoe like so. All right. Now, we want the red band going on top. And it's going in R3. So start with R3 right here. So find R3 on your board. That's the inside resistor. They even have a little picture of the resistor there. Take your red band and make sure that leg goes on top. And then your gold band goes in the bottom. Make sure you get them in the right holes. And then pull that resistor all the way flat to the board, to where it's actually sitting on the board right there. Now, something that can help you when you're soldering. All right, on the back side, so I kind of keep my thumb on the resistor right here, and I take these legs and kind of widen them out a little bit to kind of hold it in place. Because a lot of you guys would have it flat against the board, then you would flip it over, and it would slip. All right, and it would kind of pop up off the board. So if you kind of hold your thumb on it like so, and then widen those legs out a little bit, it'll hold it in place so you can spin that around and solder it. Okay, now again, double check to make sure that you are in R3 and your red band is on top. If you're good with it, go ahead, solder that resistor in place. Make sure you have your glasses on.
Does it matter which one you
As long as they both get in there. Again, very little solder. Don't build bridges. Just make sure you have the ring covered. What's up, Jack?
Mine for some reason always gets stuck right there. When I pull the other side through, I can't get the other one.
Did you have the red band on top?
Yeah. It's not sticking, it's not moving up to the wires.
What's up, Eli? Huh? Yeah, use a little, like that's good, right there. Keep with that one.
Yeah, I can tell. I think I use a little much on that one.
Yep. Kaya, what's up, buddy? Yep, that'll work.
Does it work? I got a little much.
Oh, way too much solder on that first one, but you're still okay.
I think it wouldn't come off, so it's melted even.
You're good.
I don't know.
You're good.
You're melting the copper wire.
That'll work. No, not yet.
That's the good pearl.
We'll do that all at the end when we're done. That way, if there's a mistake, then so we'll plug them in, we'll test them, and if everything's good, then we'll go through and snip all the legs off. If there's not, then we can kind of still use those parts. Dang, you put both in. Yep, that'll work. Hey, again, guys, we are not snipping the legs. Do not snip the legs. We will take care of that after we test them with the 9-volt batteries. All right, once you get that done, you're going to get your second red, yellow resistor, and it's going to go in R4 right here. Okay, make sure you put it in R4. That's the inside resistor here, R4. Red band on top. Red band on top. And be very careful with how much solder you guys use.
I did not do good. Is that okay? I heated the thing up too much.
Yeah, you're okay. You use a little too much solder, though. A little less solder next time. Try to keep your solder as thin as possible. All right, so again, we're taking our second red, yellow resistor, and it's going to go in R4. Red band on top. Make sure the red band is on top. Make sure you're in R4. Hold it flat against the board. Kind of widen those legs out. Flip it over, and you can solder that one as well. R4. Don't forget to clean your tips off. Yep, you're good.
All right, thank you.
You see how you still have some copper ring showing there? Try to heat that side up the copper ring and push that solder around to it. Guys, make sure you get the copper rings covered. because they're attached to a wire inside the board. So you want to make sure you get a good connection. Screensaver.
Does it have to be completely covered?
Most of it.
Okay, because this one I got corner showing.
My resistor like just fell off.
What?
Like part of it just randomly fell off.
Oh, Jack. You are special. You know that? And now it's on video with me saying you're special. In a good way. I'm sure your parents think you're special too.
Where's the
You're good.
video?
I'm recording
He's filming right now. Why?
for my, I gotta leave this afternoon. You're good. Are you ready?
Let your kids solder without you here?
Oh yeah, they'll be all right.
Alright.
Yep.
This one was
We good? We good? All right, so up next, we're going to move to R1 and R2 here, the outside resistors. That is your yellow, violet, brown. Now, be careful here because the yellow and the gold, some of you guys get this mixed up. Make sure your yellow is on top. Make sure you spot it. Okay, if you need a friend to look at it, have a friend look at it. Make sure the yellow band is on top right there. And it's going in R1, yellow band on top. Now, here's where you got to be careful soldering. Do not build bridges. A little bit of solder.
When are we gonna set the legs?
Well, Tucker, if you would have been listening at the beginning of class, you would have heard I said we're going to do that after we test. Okay, once you get your R1 resistor placed in, your other yellow, violet, brown goes in R2. Make sure yellow is on top. Yellow has to be on top, guys. So I'm going R2, yellow on top. Make sure it stays flat against the board. Do not build bridges with your solder.
Oh my god.
Is that correct?
Sometimes so much solder just comes off.
Yep.
It's not that special.
Plus, on
What? On mine?
the second one.
No. That's perfect.
Oh, mine.
It's good. You're a rookie.
Look, just the first one out of
Oh, just the, look, but just the first one. Don't look at the first one.
Yeah, don't look that one.
Oh,
All the other ones, those are good. Those
I
are really
didn't know
good.
the bridge.
nice. Good work, Jack.
Great job.
You don't do anything.
Yeah.
Is that good or should I?
I would heat the other side of that copper ring up. Don't add any more solder, but heat it and try to push that solder around over to it.
That's crazy.
We ready? No?
You making fun of my name?
Don't make fun of Brady. Hey, don't make fun of Brady.
No, I don't.
Hold on, Brady Big
We're ready now.
Whenever people say something serious about very different. Frosted Flakes, I'm tired. I know you do. Lucky Charms and Frosted
Hey,
Flakes.
if you turn me and Brady learned how to talk, how to say one ten in Spanish in preschool.
We did?
Yep, we did.
I don't remember that. We need that yet. How do you fail preschool?
I don't have those friends.
I used to
That's
jump
what
on the
he's
table.
trying to do.
Yes, bread. I eat the pear. What?
What's up?
Good, this is a good. That's not a French I know.
I'm still trying.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah.
Like, see the copper over there?
Yeah.
You might try just heating that up and pushing the solder you already have on there.
There was just
over
a
it.
little tiny.
Yep. Not bad. We ready? All right, so up next, we're going to work with our transistors, guys. So your transistor, we're going to work right here. Look where I'm pointing. In Q1, remember, here's the flat side of our transistor. The flat side is going up. You have a spot for each leg. So get one of your, or both, because we'll get both of them done. Get your transistors out of your baggies.
We're gonna be done by like the end of the week.
Oh, wait, we'll probably be done tomorrow.
What?
Yep.
Well, this is a lot easier because we don't.
Okay, now, again, we want that flat side of the transistor. So that half moon, if I'm looking at it from the top, I want that flat side going up to match the diagram right there. Okay, it's going into Q1. It's the one with the 3 legs. Okay, place your transistor through there. You cannot get this wrong as long as you have the flat side up. Now, with your transistor, guys, it will not go all the way against the board. Just press it down to where it gets tight. Don't break those legs off. Make sure it's straight up and down. Don't have it leaning one way or the other. When you get it down to where it's tight and it's not leaning, flip it over and be very, very careful soldering this. Those welds are close together.
Like, is this good?
After the transistor, what are we gonna do next?
That's it for today. We are not snipping the legs. Stop saying that. Now, when you get your first resistor placed and soldered, get your second resistor, and it's going to go in Q2 here. Again, the flat side up. Flat side up. Huh? Yep. Once you get your first one done, you can put your second one in. Make sure you put it in Q2, flat side up.
How do I keep it still?
Stop shaking.
Whenever I touch it to the board.
Stop. You know what the board is.
You did this other transistor too?
Yep, both. It goes in Q2. Grady, swear. Tucker, you've only said it like 9 times.
Only 9 times.
Yeah, at least not 10. Could be 10. Could be worse.
The hole.
All right, again, once you get that finished, that's where we are stopping for the day. So make sure And I wouldn't touch those transistor legs because they're kind of shorter, but you can fold over your resistor legs. I would leave the transistor legs alone. Make sure you get everything in your baggie. You have your name and hour on your baggie, and you place it in the locker. All right? When everybody's done soldering, please unplug your soldering iron, fold the cord back up, wrap the rubber band around it, and put it on the back table again. Don't forget to put your directions back inside as well.
What? You gonna get in trouble.